All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Let's get started on our analysis. We are still seeing a little bit of dollar strength come through the market. We've got the euro dollar that just dipped to 105.80. The dollar yen got pretty close to 113 again. Aussie dollar has dipped below that uh, 74.50. The Aussie New Zealand is expected drop below 105. Dollar Canadian just pushed up to the high, so got some activity out there. Definitely got some activity in the markets at the moment. Let's go ahead and start with the euro dollar. Again, a little bit of movement. So I think seeing some of this, end of month moves are kind of starting here. All right, so here's the euro dollar. Now, notice the support that the euro's on. Now, this is, going back to yesterday. Going back to yesterday, we talked about this support here. This is previous support, current resistance, support, support, support. We actually dipped a little further following the Morning Edge webinar yesterday. Dipped a little further and then ended up bouncing. The thing about the euro dollar, it's having a really tough time getting any type of rally going. I do think that we're in, you can see like these zones right here. We've got this big support through here around the 105.20, 105.30 level. And you have a big sell zone up here around 107. The question is, what do you do, right now? And all I know is, and I'm trying to drag this over a little bit. Hold on. That's not what I want. There we go. What I do know at this point in time is I don't have a lot of like confidence right now trading the euro to the long side. And then the flip side is I don't know necessarily if I want to go short just yet either, because we haven't seen much of a pullback. So anyway, I think the euro is sitting around support. We can write down support as being this low here from yesterday, which is 105.60. Then below that is going to be the 105.30 or 105.25. Because, sorry, because that is the spike low over here, which is 105.21. So we'll write 105.20 and 105.60 is two levels of support. Again, I get a little nervous being short down here, but the flip side is I don't necessarily want to be long either, Resistance I still think is any move up to 107. Any move up to, well, this previous low here now is 106.65. I think that's resistance. I'd way rather be a seller up there. So let's imagine that the preliminary GDP numbers that we get are a little weaker than expected. Okay, the preliminary GDP numbers maybe come in at 2.8, 2.7%. We might get a squeeze higher in the euro, and it might take us back towards 107. I think at that point we need to start looking at being long, because long the dollar, short the euro, because if you think about it, this is preliminary GDP. Tomorrow we'll have ADP non-farm, some employment figures, and those numbers will probably be relatively strong because they have been strong and steady. So any type of weakness that we see in the euro dollar that's comes off this preliminary GDP read, if we get it, might actually give us, might give us some weakness and allow us to get a better price ahead of the ADP numbers. Okay, so in other words, I'd rather be a seller up here if we can get it later today, maybe tonight. Okay, I don't know if I really want to be a seller of the euro right at this point. Okay? Okay. Let's go over to the cable. Now the cable's been acting pretty well today. I don't know if that's more of a result of the um, uh, GDP numbers or what, or GDP numbers. I'm sorry. The net lending or the mortgage approvals, or maybe it's just more of euro pound flow that went through. But this 4 hour chart, as you can see, Um, we hit support through here. That's I'm just trying to grab the blue line, and it's seemingly impossible. Okay, you want to really piss me off? So frustrating. Okay, so we hit this trend line support yesterday. Um, Actually, the reason why I knew about it is Forex Analytics. Uh, they posted a alert or an update that had yesterday the 4 hour chart hit off that support, and I'm like, oh, hey, so we hit off that support and then bounced, and we did rally, pretty significantly off of that. Now, I still think we're trapped though. You got this 123, whatever these lows are, 123.85 and 125.30. I think this is a range that we're just in. So 123.80, 125.30, and we are in the range, right? We're in the range. Uh, Ziggy said Dan Dickers on CNBC or Bloomberg. Hold on, let me get over to Bloomberg. Really? Wait, hold on. Oh, there's Dan Dicker. Yeah. Dan Dicker, the guy who said that we're going to get a super spike when we're at 110. Yeah. I mean, listen, when you're really, really wrong about a big call like that, and you tell in front of the world, and they continue to put you on media news outlets, this tells you how little these expert analysts really know. They don't know much. All right. Well, and I'm not here to try to figure out, you know, what's going to happen 6 months or a year from now. But that was pretty clear. You know what I mean? That was really, to me, crystal clear at that time when crude was well over 100, and you just took into account everything that was happening in the U.S., everything that all the just oversupply that we're going to have. Prices were bound to come down, but this guy was completely on the wrong side of the market, and he's still on TV. That's great. That's good. Okay, let's go over to the Swissy. Nice to have you here, Dan. Dicker. I mean, I'm sorry. What was your name? Dan Dicker? Whatever. Okay. Um, all right. Let's go over to the dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss looks pretty stout. I mean, look at this thing. Dollar yen's at 113, guys. Look at the dollar Swiss. Probing its head higher. I don't think this consolidation has taken it's been consolidating long enough. I don't think it has, but um, maybe it has. 101.60, 101.67. I mean, we're right here at 101.70. Um, 'I'm just gonna have to write down resistance as being this 101.90. I mean that's all there is to it, really. I mean, we have to write down that resistance because we're already puking our head above here. So, 100.55. I mean, I don't know. I want to write down support that low. 100.80. Okay, I'll write that down. 100.80 and then 101.90. And it's bullish. It just is. Still bullish. All right, let's go over the yen. Now the yen should peak maybe at 113.20. Okay. We have AB equals CD underside of this trend line. That should come in at 113.20, even though I've already got a little bit of a short. It's up in my face right now. 113.20 should be it. Yeah, we just spiked above 113, just tripping some stops here. Okay, 113.20 support. See, on an hourly basis, because I don't know where the peak is, so I can't do a fib yet. 112.25. 112.25 is support. Okay, it is bullish, even though I'm trading counter trend right now. Let's go over to the dollar Canadian. So the dollar Canadian actually looks a little bit better because, crude's getting smacked here. So, we're still in this big channel here. Let's get rid of this. We broke yesterday. We did come down. It's interesting. We came down to the 88% retracement because on the morning edge yesterday, we were right here. Right here. We were just coming down. We hadn't broken down yet on the morning edge yesterday. I said, hey, if we break through this support at 104.50 or 134.50, it's going to take us, lower. I drew that arrow. We came down right to the 88% retracement. We've been bouncing back pretty nicely. And the dollar Canadian looks stout, man. Looks good. Wow, look at this dollar yen all up in my grill. Anyway, let's see. High to low, 50% retracement. It's an hourly 200 period moving average. I don't think that really matters a whole lot. We've taken out a downtrend line already. I mean, any rally up here to this 135 level, you're going to find that 786, but that's above. 618 comes in at 134.80. I think we probably need to write down that number. 134.80 is resistance. It's still bullish while it's above 133. You guys know that longer term. Yeah, while we're above 133. Thing is, we found a lot of support down at 134, so we'll just write down 134 support today. Whoops. Okay. Let's take a look at the Kiwi. Um, Kiwi's struggling at this 71 cent level. But I still think that if we can spike it to 71.40, I want to be a seller. This is the numbers we were looking at yesterday. It's a 38% retracement. It looks like we're wedging right now. And I may have drawn this incorrectly, so let's draw this again. Um, 71.40. That's where we want to be short the Kiwi if possible. Because there is resistance right here at 71 cents. This is bearish. Remember, there's a big potential head and shoulder pattern potential. But like I told you guys yesterday, I'd rather be short at 71.40 than short yesterday because we were kind of mid-range yesterday. However, this trendline support, it's got to hold. Let's get rid of this. We don't need that now. This trendline support's got to hold. But if it doesn't, so if we come down and we break 70.75, that will probably trip some stops. Okay. All right. All right, when I come back, I'm going to do the Aussie dollar index, peso, Swedish krona, Norwegian krona. Don't go anywhere. Be back in a few minutes. Hey guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. We want to finish up what we're doing here. I did correct, thanks to Ziggy, I corrected some of the numbers here on the bias chart. I had decimal places in the wrong spot. So, but before I do that, Kimmy had a comment about the New Zealand yen. She said that the New Zealand yen is approaching a 786 retracement, which I'm assuming she drew from up here, 786 retracement and 161% extension following the elections. So yes, you are correct, Kimmy. We have some really key resistance about 20 pips higher. So if you can squeeze out a short in the New Zealand yen at about 20 pips, that's probably not a bad place to look for a short for the New Zealand yen. Okay, let's see here. Where am I at? We're doing the Aussie. Here's the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar really rejected at 75 cents, and that was, this is our sell zone that we had drawn out here for the last couple of days. And yesterday, I think it was Dimitri that said, hey, we got an AB equals CD, and then plus we're up against resistance. And I'm like, yes, we are. We hit the 38% retracement, did a nice little ABCD, and then we're coming down. Now, important support is going to be right here. Okay, let's figure out where let's grab this, this yellow line here. And let's move it up just a hair so we can see it better. Okay, off of that fib. Okay, the reason why that's so important is because A, it's a previous support from way back there. It's also support from here, and it's also channel support. Because if we have a flag, okay, if we have a flag pattern, if we crack 74.20, this is going to be a pretty bearish event. Is now looking at a, potential here, and I'm going to delete this here in a second. If we break this, then we have a flag pattern in play. So I'm going to get rid of that for now. Okay, so 74.20 is really key support. That's key support. All right, now resistance is 75 cents. That's easy. It's pretty key resistance. It's a 38% retracement and bearish trend. Okay. Okay. Let's go over to the dollar index. All right, here's the dollar index. We had a nice hammer yesterday. It's yielded some upside already, but let me give you the buts. But previous support, current resistance, support, resistance, resistance. So 101.60 is resistance, 100.50 support. But if we break 101.60, then 102 comes into play. So I will write down both. 101.60, 102 is bullish. 100.50 is resistance. Okay, or support, excuse me. The support, it is bullish. All right, let's go over to the peso. I do not have my position in the peso anymore. Got out of it yesterday. When we were up here at like 67 or 66, I got out of it. I thought that we might actually come back and challenge this channel resistance, but we haven't made it up there yet. I would rather be on the short side of the peso, just not right at this moment in time. If we can get up in the 72, 73 level, I probably will do it again. 2077 is resistance. Support. Well, right now support is right there, 2049. It's still bullish, well above 20. As long as we remain above 20, it's still bullish. Okay. US dollar, Norwegian krona. Still holding well above 850. Resistance at 864. 850, 864, still holding up well. So 850, 864, still bullish. US dollar, Swedish krona. This thing hasn't backed off a whole lot either. Pullbacks have been very minimal. Even in this move, we can't get to a 38% retracement, which, I mean, it just tells you that, sheer bullishness of the of the dollar. And you take a look at the dollar Swedish krona, it's Pullbacks have been very minimal. 931 and 9, I'm going to write down 914. The question is, do we even get down there? 914, 931, and it is bullish. Okay. Dollar yen is back above. Is dollar yen at new highs? Dollar yen new, almost new highs. Close.